questions, and Lakeside Elementary School, welcome aboard the International Space Station. Lakeside Elementary School, this is the International Space Station. How do you read? Over. Hello, Jet. When I was about your age, I was very interested in science and mathematics, and I was also very interested in serving my country. And I made the decision that I wanted to be first serve in the military, and that eventually led to the opportunity to apply to become an astronaut. And one of the best things about being an astronaut is being part of a really, really awesome team. It's great to be on board the International Space Station with great teammates, and it's also great to know that I have great teammates on the ground in mission control, making sure that we're safe. Hi, Jim. I think I understood your question to be how do you draw in space? And, well, we have things to write with, like pens and pencils and markers, and we have paper up here. And so I would draw very much like I would on the ground, except that if I just, without fixing my feet under something or had a strap holding me in place, when I put a pen or a pencil against paper, I would float away, because in space, in microgravity, every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So I have to be very careful to hold on to make sure that the piece of paper is taped down and that my feet are secure. Otherwise, writing would cause me to float away from the piece of paper. Scientific experiments that can be performed from mission control. Now, on our launch up here, right now, we're launching a Soyuz rocket, and that vehicle is controlled by the astronauts and cosmonauts inside. But the most complex spacecraft ever built is the International Space Station, and it's controlled from many flight control rooms all across the world. Absolutely, Hadley. Emergencies are something that we train for the most, in our training leading up to our space flight lasts almost 2 years, and much of that time is spent preparing for emergencies. The 3 emergencies that we're most concerned about on the International Space Station would be a fire, if we lost pressurization of our atmosphere, and if we were to have a toxic substance leak inside our living space. And those are the 3 things that we constantly train for, and we're prepared for at any moment. And we even run drills for those emergencies while we live on the International Space Station. Well, we get to eat a lot of different types of food from around the world. Each space agency provides their own food. The Russian Space Agency, NASA, of course, the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency all provide different types of food, and we get to enjoy all those up here. And it's one of the most fun things to do is to share and eat each other's different types of space foods. It's all very good, and because we have a variety, it keeps it very interesting for us. Ryan, the most dangerous thing that we do on board the International Space Station is conduct spacewalks. And I have just finished recently my 4th spacewalk, and every time it's one of the most, we know that it's one of the most dangerous things, and it's one of the things that we prepare for the most, both on the ground and then once we're on the International Space Station. When we have a spacewalk coming up, we take it very seriously, and we spend much of our time preparing for that, because as you can imagine, going outside in a spacesuit is a very dangerous situation. Well, Logan, it's very important that we get opportunity to relax, and one of our favorite things to do is to share meals together. I mentioned how fun the food is, and there are 6 of us on board representing Russia, the United States, and Italy right now, and we like to get together once a week, usually on Friday or Saturday night, and eat together. We listen to music. And then we love looking out the window, too, at the Earth. That's very relaxing, and it's so beautiful to see our home planet from up here in low Earth orbit. Well, we have over 300 experiments going on at different times while I'm on board. I'll be on board the International Space Station for 9 months, and I'll conduct many of those. One we have running right now is called the Biofabrication Facility, which is like a 3D printer for human tissues or human cells that we think that will eventually be able to 3D print tissues in a way that we couldn't do on Earth with the effects of gravity. We think that there are different structures that we could grow without the effect of gravity because of microgravity. So that's a very interesting one. Down, a very timely question. One of our payloads right now is called Veggie 4, and it's the 4th experiment of growing plants in space, edible plants. In fact, we're growing Mizuna lettuce, which we have harvested twice already and have been able to enjoy and eat, to have fresh green food. As you can imagine, is very important because we don't get that very often, and it will enhance our ability to go further and deeper in exploring the universe when we know that there are ways that we can produce our own food to have fresh food. It's been my pleasure to be with you. I've taken some beautiful pictures of the Great Salt Lake, and I know you're right there near Hill Air Force Base, and I just send my greetings to everybody there in the Salt Lake City and the Great Salt Lake region.